A lot of people think that you cannot wholesale houses on the MLS, but you most certainly can. I've done it, a lot of my friends have done it, and in today's video, I'm just gonna share how to do it and kind of what to look out for, because it's not as easy as it is wholesaling homes like off market. So it's a little bit harder, a little bit more barriers of entry and like barriers in general, but I'm gonna show as much as I can of like how to do it. And also, if you're just new to the channel in general, my name is Justin Yarong, and I've helped hundreds of people make money in real estate. So the first thing that you should know, if you're gonna be wholesaling houses on the MLS, or even just buying houses on the MLS in general, definitely get a pre-approval letter if you do not have all the cash in hand. And the reason is, if you don't even know what a pre-approval letter is, no worries. But what it is essentially, it's proof that you can buy the house. And like maybe you don't have money yourself. That's why you're maybe trying to wholesale a house, because you want to make money without having to buy the house yourself. You can still get a pre-approval letter, not with a conventional lender, like not with a Wells Fargo or a local conventional lender, but you can definitely get a pre-approval with a hard money lender. I wouldn't recommend telling the hard money lender you're wholesaling, because they will not write you a pre-approval letter. But if you tell a hard money lender, hey, like I'm a new investor, can you write up a pre-approval letter for me so I can start making offers on the MLS? Most hard money lenders will write up an offer because they want your business. And they might do a credit check and whatnot and other things, but in general, like you should be just fine. And you want a pre-approval because if you do not have a pre-approval letter, the listing agents, whenever you make your offers without a pre-approval letter, like they have no proof, and like they have no proof that you're a legit buyer. How do they know that you can actually afford the home if there's no proof behind it? You don't have a proof of funds, I'm assuming. You don't have like all this cash in the bank where you can pull a bank statement out saying, hey, like, no, I have all this cash. And you don't have a pre-approval letter, which is the other thing that you need. So you don't have the cash in the bank. Get a pre-approval letter so that these realtors will take you seriously when you make your offers. That's the first step. I don't know how much else to stress it, but get the pre-approval if you're going to be dealing on the MLS. Now, the second thing that you have to worry about when wholesaling a house on the MLS is going to be how you communicate with the agent, and how you kind of deal with the fact that you're wholesaling and not actually buying these houses. There are two main approaches you can take. The first way is you can legit just be fully upfront with the agent. You can say, hey, like I'm a wholesaler. I'm planning to assign this contract. I am not the end buyer, but I have a list of investors who want to buy all the houses that I have. And I am just the middleman, essentially trying to assign it. I'm going to be making a fee for doing so. And you could do this. This is something that I did when I was just starting, and I did this for a while, and it works. Like, you're honest with people. But there's a big downside to being this upfront. The downside is that a lot of brokers out there, brokers meaning like the agent's bosses, whoever the agents work under, a lot of brokers don't like dealing with assignments. I think it just causes a lot of liability issues for them, but they don't like dealing with wholesalers and assignments. And for some reason, they can reject it. Like they can not accept your offer because you want to wholesale it, which is weird because there's a lot of forms for the MLS specifically for assignments, which I don't understand. It should be able to be done because all the forms are there to do so, but like the official forms too. But anyways, a lot of brokers don't like it. Now, the other approach you can do besides being all super upfront about it, you can literally just proceed as the buyer. So for example, even though you're not buying the house, you're gonna make your offer presenting yourself as the buyer because that's what you are doing. You have the pre-approval. You could buy it too. Like you literally could be the buyer because even if you didn't have the money, you have the hard money lender approval. And if you needed to, you could raise the money from other people to buy it. Even if you have no intention truly of buying it. I know it might sound a little unethical, but if you have no intention of buying it, you can still proceed as a buyer. And if the time comes, if you get the offer accepted, they accept your contract, then you might decide, okay, like I don't want to be the buyer anymore. Let's find the end buyer. And once you find an end buyer who wants to buy the home from you at a higher price, then you can assign it. And you can just tell the agent, hey, like we're assigning this. Or if you get an agent and you just do this for a lot and you get it over time that they're just giving you a hassle over like assigning it, you can just say, hey, like we're just switching the LLCs on this. Like, as simple as that. So if you have an LLC yourself, a limited liability company, meaning you're operating your real estate wholesaling business out of a business account and not your personal name, you could just say to the agent, if you find another buyer to assign this to wholesale this to, you can just say, hey, like, we're going to change the LLCs. It's going to be, new LLC. Everyone's still going to get their money. It's just a new LLC. And if they give you further hassle where they literally do not allow you to profit as the wholesaler, as the middleman, which I've had, you could do, depending on the reputation of the end buyer, you could do an assignment fee outside of escrow, which I've done before only with very trusted like people in the community. I've done this before because they were like, when I talked to the broker and I was trying to assign a deal from the MLS, from an agent, their broker was just like, no assignments. And we ended up doing the assignment anyways. And they just didn't want to have any monetary gain for the wholesalers involved. And it was kind of weird. But yeah, for example, there's one deal. I forget the exact numbers, but we had a deal. I got it under contract on the MLS. I wanted to assign this and make a profit as an assignment fee, which is what wholesaling is. The broker said no, like after I talked to the agent. And first off, when you're dealing with the MLS, you're going to have to explain wholesaling to agents in general and like assignments, because a lot of agents don't understand assignments. So that's something that you're going to have to get good at, like communicating. If you don't fully understand it, start to understand it, because you're going to have to explain it to these agents that are not aware. I've had plenty of agents who have been in the business like 20 plus years. They're just not familiar with assignments. This is a very specific part of real estate that not a lot of people deal with. This is wholesaling. But yeah, this one deal that the broker didn't allow me to wholesale, we still assigned the deal. I just essentially said, hey, we're changing the LLC. It's going to be a different LLC. I'm still involved. There's going to be no monetary gain. And there was no monetary gain in escrow. But then me and the end buyer signed an agreement outside of escrow saying that he's going to be paying me the assignment fee outside of escrow. And it's a lot riskier. It's definitely risky for the wholesaler to do so. That's why I don't recommend doing this unless you have a very, very, very trusted real estate investor or wholesaler that you're doing business with. And even then, it's kind of scary. Like, I'll be honest, I remember when I did this recently, I was like, man, this is kind of scary. Like, what if he doesn't pay me? Yeah, I had the legal right because there was a contract involved, but still, I'm like, that would suck if I did all this work to find the deal and didn't get paid, because that's what escrow is for. Escrow is to make sure all the parties involved like don't get scammed. That's what they're for. And if you're going to be doing something outside of escrow to get an assignment fee paid, then it's up to you. So those are the options that you can do as far as like communicating with the realtor. You can be super upfront, or you can just like proceed as buyer. And if you find the end buyer, just tell them you're changing LLCs or you're assigning it and kind of see what they say. And you're going to figure it out as you do more of these and as you communicate to more agents, just to see how they react. Of course, it probably depends on your state too, because I think one state you can't even wholesale. But anyways, just be aware that not all agents or brokers will allow this. And it kind of sucks. That is definitely the downside of wholesaling on the MLS, because if you're working off market, like the rules are very different. There's not all these specific forms involved for the MLS that realtors have to go through. And honestly, if you're doing good business, even if you're doing off market, like you should be able to make the seller aware of what you're doing anyways, because you don't want to take advantage of anyone. If you're wholesaling real estate, even if you're not the end buyer, you're still providing a service to the sellers to make sure that they get paid what they want. Like, even I know our offers are super discounted, but they're discounted because the sellers need to sell and they're happy with the offer. So never be sketchy, because there's, I guess wholesalers kind of get a bad reputation for being sketchy. But in reality, if you're being honest with people and you're generally just not trying to take advantage of people and you're trying to like be true to your word and all that, like that's how business should be done in general. So if you just do that, you will be just fine. But anyways, those are the things that you have to look out for if you're trying to wholesale a home that's on the MLS listed by an agent. And if you want help to grow your real estate investing business overall, I want you to click on the link in the description below for a free strategy session. But otherwise, peace.